Hey guys, today I'm going to be unboxing the Real Grade Build Strike Gundam full package. So this is yet again another unboxing that I accidentally deleted the original, so I'm unboxing this video again for a second time here. So everything will be the same, except when I open up the box here, you'll see that all the runners are already out of their bags. But anyway, thank you to MindFenix Hobby Store, of course, as always, for sending me this kit to share with you guys. I know there's a lot of people out there who are fans of the Build Strike Gundam, Build Fighters fans and all of that. I like the design of the Gundam itself, the base Gundam, the Build Strike Gundam. Just not a big fan of that backpack at all, and not a big fan of those weapons. The rifle and the shield are just not for me, personally, in the backpack. I don't mind the wings, it's just the angle and shape of the wings is kind of weird. It just doesn't really look all that good for my personal taste, but the Gundam is pretty cool, so maybe just switching out the backpack for like just one of the RG Strike backpacks or something, I think would be pretty cool. I'm sure that's possible. Of course, I haven't tried it, and I don't even know if I've seen someone else try it online yet, but I'm sure it's possible. It's using the same frame, so I'm sure that connection is going to be exactly the same. So let's check this out. Just got a pretty standard RG style box art here on the front. Everything looking pretty nice with those nice CG renders there. Going around onto the side of the box, this is number 23 in the line, the Michael Jordan of the Real Grade line, you could say. Here on the side, we've just got all this fun stuff, English and Japanese there. A little bit about the frame, the realistic decals. Would have been nice if those were realistic waterside decals. And then the authentic looks and mobile structure. Here's all about the backpack. It can be its own separate flyer there. Closer up look at the shield and the rifle. You have like a basic like handgun, and then like or a rifle, or like super long big rifle with this thing attached onto the front of it. Anyway, so here's what it's going to look like when it's not painted or anything, just completely just snapped up with out of the box, just with the stickers on it, and that's it. Nice thing about the Real Grade line is the kits do look really, really good with minimal amount of work done to them. Couple action poses here. Obviously the articulation is going to be pretty nice with that nice inner frame and like moving armored parts on the legs and things like that. It's all going to be looking pretty nice there. List price is 2,500 yen for this, so not too expensive. Also, like Real Grade kits, which are usually black, this one's blue. And we've just got the other versions of the Build Strike here. There's the MG Perfect Grade. Obviously, there's no Perfect Grade Build Strike, but there's just the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam on the other side. The HG version and the SDBB Senshi version. So you've got lots of versions to choose from. Again, the runners all here. We'll get back to those in a minute. Let's go ahead and take a look at the manual here. Again, standard Real Grade manual. Just got the head image there, nice and big on the front. Name down there at the bottom. On the back is where all the sticker markings are going to be going. Front, back, top, bottom, left, right, backpack, weapons, all of that. Color chart here at the bottom, including color chart for the 1/144 scale ZakuAurelius figure there. And all English and Japanese for that. Here's our parts list. Looks like there's no A runner, so obviously that was probably parts that were for the Strike Gundam, I suppose. Starting off with the B runner is our inner frame, C and then F runner, so again skipping around a bunch, so I'm guessing those two are also from the just regular Ale Strike Gundam. So we're going to have a lot of leftover parts, as you can see, a lot of X's there. Then starting from runner H is where we got all the new parts, so H, I, J, K, L for all of our new parts in this case, and then our realistic decals there at the bottom. So construction is going to be starting off like pretty much all Real Grade kits as far as I know, from the feet up. Here, interestingly, we have a bunch of this information in English and Japanese there again, so that's pretty cool. So starting off with the feet, legs, right leg, left leg. Then getting into the waist. So again, yeah, just kind of going from the ground up here. From the waist then onto the body. Of course, you need a body to attach your limbs onto, so there's the body, finishing that up, and then onto the arms. Then this section here, weapons section there, unfortunately no English for that section. I guess they just didn't really have room, not enough space in the manual for the English, or unfortunately. Anyway, then we're just working on the arms here, building up the arms, and then finally getting to the head. And then the weapons, we have the beam gun, the Chobham shield, strange name, and then the manipulator hands there. Then just getting on to all the rest of these gun parts, and then the build booster. Again, here about the build booster, all Japanese, unfortunately no English there, but some nice photos to enjoy anyway. Finishing up the build booster and then just mounting that. You can mount that. It looks like we've got a special piece. I think that looks like the same action-based connector we'll use for the kit. You can also use that for just the booster pack if you wanted. Just have that as flying by itself. Or of course you can mount it to the backpack of the Gundam. And let's see, J15 and J15, so it's the same action-based connector we'll use for either or. Alright, let's get a look at the runners. First up, here is our sticker decal marking sheet. Again, most of these are going to just be like standard caution markings. A few of them are specific for these ones say like build booster. These ones say 105B, and then like the Omni logos and stuff like that. But then here we've got all of our like foil, like mirror finish stickers there, and then a few different options for our stickers for the eyes as usual, just for the real grade kits. Alright, then runner B is our advanced MS joint 3, being reused from the real grade Ale Strike Gundam here, just in standard two-tone gray color. Then next up is runner C. Again, this is from the original Strike Gundam, so we've got some parts of the runner that are cut out, but we're still going to have a lot of leftover parts here from this runner that are not going to be used. This is all in kind of off-white. This section here is in a little bit more of like a very, 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 very light tan color for just a few parts there, and then a couple of kind of darker red colors here at the bottom. And then runner F in this dark gray color here is more of just the frame parts. So these are like frame parts that you're going to put onto the inner frame just to add more detail and more kind of depth to that. Alright, then runner H is our first new runner. In this case, we've got some clear blue parts here at the bottom, a few of those. Some white parts there at the top, a couple yellow parts there on the side, and a whole bunch of red there throughout the middle. And then runner I, again, just one clear green piece there at the top for going inside the rifle. Some more gray parts there. Looks like a few new kind of joint parts, and then mostly just kind of new weapon parts. Whole bunch of white here for armor parts, head parts, rifle parts, and then our beam saber effect parts are molded onto the runner here instead of being a separate SB runner. So that's kind of interesting. Here's runner J1. This one is in the same kind of color as like the inner frames of the Gundam Barbatos and other kind of inner frames. This is the kind of brownish gray color Bandai's been using as of late for some new frame parts that we're going to be using for the Build Strike Gundam here. So we've got runner J1 as well as runner J2, which is a copy of this section here. And then we've got runner K, which is just more new white armor parts here for the outer armor. As you can see, there's hand covers, parts for the shoulders, calves, legs, ankles, knee, whole bunch of stuff. And so we do have two of this K runner. And last but not least, runner L. Now this one, yeah, definitely is very blue. I kind of wish that it was a little bit lighter blue, because as it is now, it's just like straight blue. And it kind of makes these parts look a little bit like a toy, to be honest. But I think if it was just a little bit lighter shade of blue, I think that would have looked a little bit nicer. Anyway, it's kind of interesting here too that we can see that like this section of the runner is definitely like kind of made to be separated. So I think like maybe just the build booster might be possibly sold separately later or something, because you can see like these are all parts for the build booster. Looks like, and then just these are the parts for the actual Gundam. So like those are separately, those can be omitted, and just the build booster runner can be sold separately. I don't know, or maybe Bandai just did that just in case they decided to do that later. But or if they want to do some kind of like chrome version or something like that, where some parts will be chromed and some not, and they need to separate that part of the runner. Anyway, just something interesting to notice about the L runner here. But that's it for the runners. So that's it for unboxing the real grade Build a Strike Gundam full package. I'm a big fan of the real grade line, so I always enjoy building real grades, even if it is a design that I don't particularly care too much for. I think this is a design that definitely does have a lot of potential. I think just painted in a little bit different colors. The standard Gundam colors are great, but sometimes they can look a little bit toyish, I think. So on a design like this where you have that backpack, that I think definitely adds to the toy look of this, I think painting this up in some different colors would definitely make this probably a lot more interesting looking, I think, for me personally. So we'll see about that. Maybe, maybe I'll have to do that. We'll have to see. Anyway, so for now, I'll just snap this up and then I'll come back with the review coming up next for you guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any other questions or comments, leave those down below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.